I'm looking forward to this. This is a great time. I want every athlete to be able to share their story so that other athletes can hear it and we can make a difference in their lives.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Prince, for that introduction and being the visionary for a game beyond the game. Today, we're going to have a special guest, as you already heard a little bit before, Mr. Mario West, who is the director of Off the Court for NBPA, National Basketball Players Association, as well as author of Defend the Dream. I'm looking forward to hearing more about that in conjunction with discussing faith. So thank you very much, Mario. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me, man. Great to be a part of this discussion.
Anytime. Appreciate you so much. And I know that, obviously, you've written the book, Defend the Dream. You have a journey. You have a bit of a story. Where does that story begin? Feel free to jump in wherever you'd like and kind of bring us along with you.
So you want the short version or the long version? For time.
You know what? Let's get somewhere in the middle, and then if we need to speed up, we will. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. But I want you to start wherever you're most comfortable.
Okay. Right. So the journey for me, man, my birthplace, Huntsville, Alabama. I grew up playing basketball. It was always my dream to play in the NBA. Idolizing, as we see, The Last Dance, Michael Jordan. I mean, that's the GOAT for me. There's no debate, but I know a lot of people like to argue about that. But anyway, growing up, man, like I said, it was always my dream to play in the NBA. I started playing basketball at the age of 7 at the Boys and Girls Club. My parents were very young when they had me. My dad was 19, my mom was 17. And so you can imagine having young parents who are pretty much babies themselves trying to raise a baby. They needed help. And oftentimes when you have young parents, it takes a village. My grandmother, rest in peace, Alberta West, man, was very instrumental in introducing me to God and also making sure that she pushed me and challenged me in the right way to pursue my dream. And so I moved up to Georgia, to Douglasville, Georgia, at the age of 9, received a lot of accolades all the way up into high school. Come my senior year, I didn't have a scholarship. And so it was my dream to go to Georgia Tech. And I remember watching, Georgia Tech and Coach Hewitt. During the time they had an ACC, they were actually playing in the Georgia Dome. And I was like, wow, man, look at that, man. Like a black coach, man, at Georgia Tech. Like, man, I'm like, man, that's awesome. Like, I want to go there. Make a long story short, I was able to walk on to Georgia Tech. I had an academic scholarship. And then during my first year, I was able to earn an actual scholarship. So I was a freshman with Chris Bosh. I mean, just phenomenal player. Obviously, everyone knows what he went on to do in the NBA and only did 1 year at Georgia Tech. I was a freshman with him and Jared Jack. Obviously, Georgia Tech Hall of Fame, did phenomenal in the league. Theodis Tarver and Jim Neestrom. And so us group of guys, man, we really bonded. And then we had, upperclassmen. We had a BJ Elder, who's a Georgia Tech Hall of Famer, ACC legend, Ishmael Muhammad, Marvin Lewis, Luke Schenscher. We got a transfer by the name of Will Bynum. We had Clarence Moore, Robert Brooks, David Nelson, Big Dave. I mean, so collectively, man, we had guys that really sharpened me. And people, when I tell my story, I'm a direct, recipient of the environment that I was in, man. And that's guys who did well academically, off the court. And then on the court, they challenged and pushed each other. And so able to earn a scholarship, participated in the NCAA tournament 3 times. During my last year at Georgia Tech, I participated in the slam dunk competition. Hey. That gave me the exposure that I needed. I was blessed to win that competition, and I wasn't even the best dunker in that competition, but I had a plan. And so the way that I won that dunk competition, I have to give a shout out to Ishmael Muhammad, because during his time at Georgia Tech, he was the best dunker in college basketball and probably in the world. And so I went to him and he helped me put together a very sound and very fluid routine that enabled me to win the dunk competition. And that gave me the exposure that I needed, because I didn't have any workouts for the NBA, nor did I have any workouts. I had no one under anyone's radar. Like if you would have mentioned Mario West, because I averaged 4.3 points during my senior year, they'd be like, who is he? Who did he play for? Where did he go? So I had a tryout for the Atlanta Hawks summer league team. I made that team, didn't do anything spectacular. I just went out and played hard, was definitely a professional, great teammate. I listened, I did everything that was asked of me, and then I got invited back to Veterans Camp. And once I got back invited to Veterans Camp, which is during the preseason with the full roster, that's how I made the Atlanta Hawks and made my dream, and the whole definition of Defend the Dream. That's when it all came about.
Man, that's powerful, right?
And congratulations 1,000 million times, for being, nailed into your faith.
And so at that point, my grandmother had introduced me to God. And that's when the whole faith and following God and just understand like anything that you want in life, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So don't limit yourself on your current circumstances. Don't be limited to that. Other people may see that your background, they may say, okay, your mom is, just struggling right now. Your dad is in the army providing for the family and you're raised by your grandmother. Don't allow the limitations that others try to place on you. Don't let that reduce the height of your potential. So she said, if you have faith, then you're able to overcome any and every obstacle that you face in life. And so when you fast forward and look back, through my life and when I explain it to people, like those challenges helped mold me. Was it painful? Absolutely. At the time, did I know I was going to make it through? No. But that's what faith is. It's seeing things that you can't see for the moment, but trusting God, knowing that he's there with you every step of the way. I was so confident in myself that I was going to make it that I told my grandmother when I was 9, you fast forward from 7 to 9, I said, you know what, Grandma, I'm going to make it one day. I'm going to buy you a house. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Fortunate enough that she already had a house, but look, I was able to pay off that house. I often have to go back to those times when I get into some kind of, where I'm feeling down or I'm feeling like I have to go back to that 7-year-old Rio, young Rio, and that 16-year-old young Rio and say, man, look, you already been through the hardest part, the fire. You can't forget, just like God's people, how, as I digress for a second, when they were in slavery, right? They were laid out and they said, you know what, Moses, how you going to take us here, right, to the land when now we got this, the Red Sea to part? And they forgot about, look, this is much better than what y'all were doing in bondage. Like oftentimes we forget all things that we've already accomplished and that we already went through, you know what I'm saying, and how we overcame it. And so I have to sometimes go back 2 or 3 steps so I can move forward in the right direction that I'm trying to go. And I often sometimes have to reflect on those moments.
Yo, that was a word right there. I'm definitely going to watch that back. And I hope all people are listening, not just the right people, because sometimes it feels like the right people always listen to the message, but every person needs to hear that. And I also want to run that back. You said the proof of your desire is in the pursuit of it and the way you pursue it. Mm-hmm. Listen, if ever watching, listening, write that down.